This story opens when a naughty boy, Nishikata, is playing with paper in his English class. A pretty girl, Takagi, asks him what he's doing. He feels flustered and replies, "Nothing." He makes a spring and is about to put it in the jack-in-the-box and try to use it on her. But he gets trapped because when he opens her pencil case, there is a jack in it. He screams in class. She laughs at his reaction. He gets angry and tries to make a plan to embarrass her. She takes the eraser from him and tells him that if anyone loves someone and writes his name on the eraser and uses it, their love becomes mutual. She removes the sticker from his eraser and examines it carefully. She pretends like there is something written on his eraser. He hesitates and takes it back to look at the eraser, but there is nothing on it. The teacher drops chalk on his head and tells him to pay attention in class and be quiet. He gets angry because he's been tricked again by her. She moves to the restroom, and he picks up his eraser to write someone's name but becomes shocked and angry to see a line. The line is looks at the hallway. He sees her in the hallway. She successfully teased him. She is happy because he cannot see his name on the other side of the eraser. The next day, he arrives at school early because of his duty. He sees her through the school windows and goes there to see her but cannot find her in the class. He suddenly sees her indoor shoes beneath the desk and relaxes, sitting at a desk. He thinks she's tricked him, so he looks for her everywhere but cannot find her. He sits peacefully, but suddenly she appears from behind the curtain and mocks him. They both sit quietly in the classroom alone. When Mina with her friends come in and start making noise, the teacher enters the class and starts reprimanding them. He waits for her to talk to him, and he wants to make her laugh. He makes different funny faces to make her laugh, but she doesn't react. She shows him a mirror, and the teacher scolds him. She tells him to try another funny face, so he does, thinking he just wants to make her laugh while he gets in trouble. He moves to the side and sees his teachers standing there with angry faces, and he feels ashamed of it. She laughs very hard, and he feels bad about it. In calligraphy class, the teacher asks the students to write their favorite words. They both decided to write what they wanted from each other. He decides to write teaching prohibited, so she gets the message from him and not teases him. She writes status quo, and he writes restraint. She feels sad about this, wondering what he wants from her. However, she tells him that status quo means he lives the way he was, easy to tease. They again start writing, and this time he writes kindness. She praises his writing skills. His pen drops, but she captures it and gives it back. He wonders why she is becoming so nice to him. She tries to remove something from his cheek. All the students write different words this time. He writes, "Do not tease me." She agrees to try not to tease him and shows him. She writes, "There is ink on his cheek." He is angry because he knows she did it. Mina talks with her friends about changing their uniform to short sleeves because it's hot. But one girl comes with short sleeves, and she's angry because all the classes changed uniforms at the same time. The next day, all the students wear short-sleeved uniforms except that girl. All the students work in English translation class. When the teacher asks him to read, she tells him the answer is 16. He does it, and the teacher scolds him because this is not a maths class. It's an English translation class. He apologizes and sits down. She tells him her meaning is they are on the 16th line, and he wonders if she did it intentionally or not. She tells him she knows he's thinking about how to take revenge on her and asks for his good idea. He replies with a smile on his face and comes up with a perfect plan, but she seems relaxed and not worried. He decides to talk about random things to distract her from her lesson. He succeeds in his plan, and the teacher asks her to read. Fortunately, she reads the correct line. He thinks of another plan. She tells him she thinks about him all the time, and he blushes. After that, all the students enjoy the pool during the swimming class, and he cannot do this because of his injured hand. She sits with him and tells him she also does not enjoy the pool. She guesses he tried to pet a stray cat and got bitten on his hand, and that was correct. He sees her hand on her abdomen, and he comes to know she is on her period, and that's why she cannot swim. She asks him to guess why she is not swimming. He starts to think if it is a trick or not and what her reaction will be when he says period, and he feels hesitant. He is so confused. She asks him why he was watching the girls enjoy the pool. He replies he does not watch them and thinks she cannot swim because of her complex of small chest but cannot say it because it is beyond rude. She gets the full courage and tells him she cannot swim because of her period. He replies that's wrong. He takes it badly and starts explaining to her, but she laughs heavily and also mentions she has no complex about her small chest. She left him speechless. She removes her clothes and asks the teacher for a swim. He comes to know she is just teasing him. She invites him to join in the pool, but he refuses because he thinks she must tease him. Mina dislikes coffee because of its bitter taste, but she thinks she has to drink it because she is an adult now. Her friend told her to switch the coffee to orange juice, and she agreed. She liked the orange juice. Nishikata took an apple juice and went back home. He thought Takagi was making too much fun of him. At the same time, she arrived here with her bike and asked him to go with her, and he agreed, sitting behind her. He gave her his drink to taste and mentioned it was an indirect kiss to embarrass her, but strangely she drank it and gave it back. When he was about to drink, she mentioned it was an indirect kiss, and his drink fell. He dropped the empty can into the trash, and it worked. She also wanted to try but failed, so he mocked her. They decided to play a match with the cans, and he admitted that if she won, he would do anything she wanted. Fortunately, she dropped the can directly into the trash. He stands at the right angle and place, about to throw it into the trash. He missed because she told him if he won, she would give him her first kiss. They moved. Mina tried a soda which was spicy and hurt her tongue. Her friend took it easy and also wanted to try it, pretending it was nothing, but in reality, her tongue was burning a lot, and she was unable to bear the pain. At home, he started doing push-ups for the number of times she teased him. It felt hard, but he continued to do it. The next day, his arms hurt too much because of yesterday's muscle training, and she mocked and teased him by touching his arm. He is again doing exercises at home. On the way back home, she told him to stop the exercise because it would affect his growth, and he thought not to become funny to her by being short. He asked about it properly, but she replied it was just a rumor, and he had to continue his exercise because moderate exercise promotes growth and strength. Mina and her friend saw a cute cat couple and were interested in their stories, but suddenly they came to know they were both male, not a loving couple. Heavy rain started when school ended, and he started making fun of her for not having any raincoat or umbrella for school, but she peacefully replied that he had a big umbrella, and they both moved together under one umbrella like a couple. He found it awkward and started talking about random things. He tried to frighten her with a frog, but unfortunately, she found it cute. She was close to him under the umbrella because his one shoulder was getting wet, and he got a cold. His heartbeat increased on her act, and he mocked her for not getting the umbrella, and she accepted, mentioning she started forgetting things these days. She told him they were both walking under the same umbrella and asked what it was called. He felt shy and hesitated to tell her, so she told him it was called ayagasa and asked him what the thing was called when couples pressed their lips together to express their love. He replied embarrassedly, a kiss. Next, she asked him about the phrase a couple says to each other to express their feelings. She started giving hints and completed the sentence, but he was not able to talk about it. The rain stopped, and he felt himself saved and moved to his house, but she stopped him and told him she had forgotten her house. She did it just to tease him. Please subscribe to our channel for the next part.